All right, gamers, let's get it. So, last stream was the single most unproductive stream we've had to date. First of all, the front half of it was okay. We got the base of our house done, and that's only probably about a third of how complete it's going to be. But we went on a quest for Dark Oak, and we ended up going like roughly 5,000 blocks east, which is this way. And we found essentially nothing. Not a single Dark Oak forest anywhere, which really sucks because that means starting off today, we still do not have Dark Oak. We did, however, find a few kind of cool things. We saw some shipwrecks, we saw some treasure chests, some really, really cool terrain generation that I have a vague idea of where it is, and maybe I'll revisit that at some point later, but not today. So, I will say that after the last stream ended with how awful it went, and just how long I thought it was going to take for me to go find Dark Oak, I'm going to go sleep before I fully talk about this. I did do a little something off camera, just because, I mean, you'll see in a second. So, right as soon as the last stream had ended, and I kind of had an epiphany when I did a search about what I should be expecting to see, like, surrounding a Dark Oak forest. They said birch forest and an old growth taiga. And I was like, well, that kind of sounds like the spawn, like where we are right now. And I was like, I wonder if it's possible that there happens to be a Dark Oak forest in a direction that I just hadn't gone yet. So I went to my house. I didn't go any further than that. I went to my house and I just turned up my render distance looking west. And so we'll give it a minute to kind of refresh here. So there's more jungle over there, but what's next to the jungle and birch forest, that should be a hint, is a Dark Oak forest, roughly only like 300 blocks away. So I want that to sink in for a second. I went 5,000 blocks east. 5,000! I saw plenty of birch forests, which is a adjacent biome to Dark Oak forests. I saw plenty of taiga. So, statistically speaking, I should have seen a Dark Oak forest at some point during that 5,000 block trip. I didn't. Lo and behold, that's my house. That's the spawn. That's a Dark Oak forest. Roughly 300 blocks away. And had I just turned up my render distance, just to check before we left the spawn, I wouldn't have had to do any of that because it's right there. I feel like a fucking idiot. But with that being said, that's going to be the first thing we do today. As soon as we get more of the house kind of complete, we're going to also focus on building our enchantment setup. So I'm probably going to go try and bring some cows up to where our house is. I'm not going to build a big fancy barn or anything for now, just because we just need to get the enchantment setup done and out of the way. It'll just be kind of a basic pen. And then we do actually have 30 levels, so we could enchant maybe one of the items we already have, like our armor. But I would like to get even more diamonds, because we only have this one that we found in a treasure chest, which clearly isn't enough for my tools, and my tools are severely lacking. So if we can get through the vast majority of this house stuff today, I think I may go mining again and see if we can get some more diamonds. I'd like to find a big open cave, because most of the diamonds that we've seen thus far in the world have been either in a mine shaft or I've accidentally ran into them while strip mining, not even really looking for them. So I may actually want to take like a mining trip intentionally to look for diamonds. And I want to see if we can find like a big 1.18 cave, closer down to where the spawner is. There is a deep dark cave over there, which I really don't want to explore, but it looks like it might end up leading to a larger cave, which might exit the deep dark. I'm not sure. So when we go back down there, I'll take a quick look. Fucking finally. I mean, this took forever. It should not have taken that long, especially knowing that it was right here the entire time. I mean, okay, well, I was wrong about it being like 300 blocks away. It's more like 600. But you get the point. I also didn't even realize that there was jungle right here either. Wonder what else is back there. I think the next time I do like an adventure stream, I know basically everything that's east for at least 5,000 blocks. I haven't really been this way all that much, and it looks like there could actually be a good little bit of interesting stuff out here. There's a stack of dark oak logs. I would like to get, there's one sapling. I'd like to get at least 8 saplings or so. Just because of how you have to grow these trees. And it's definitely possible that if I was to grow only one of them over there, it wouldn't grow enough, or it might not drop enough saplings for me to plant another one without coming back over here. So I just want to get like a fair amount of them for sure before we go over. We do have plenty of deep slate, and my roof is made almost entirely out of deep slate. So I'm not super worried about running out of materials as far as the roof goes. But the kind of cylinder section, the tower bit of my house, we have still basically no cobblestone, which really sucks because we need a fair amount of stone bricks. And there is going to be a certain amount of me just having to mine stone for materials. That's not going to be too engaging to watch or anything. There's dark oak. It's interesting because it's definitely a very, very good wood. Like, it's up there. I think the best 3 woods in the game, in my opinion. At least of the classic woods, because I don't even know all of the woods that are in the game off the top of my head anymore. But of like the classic wood, I think that dark oak, spruce, and oak are the 3 best woods. I don't think there's very much argument on that. Of the newer woods, I really like the pale, the white wood. We haven't seen that yet, but considering that there's a dark oak forest right here, and that they're always adjacent to each other, there's a chance that there's one around. I would really like to see if that's the case, maybe later on. That could be terrifying, and also should not be our goal until after we beat the dragon, just because that's an unnecessary risk. But I would like to go see that later if there is one around here. Oh yeah, we got mangrove. We saw a mangrove swamp for a very brief period there, and I grabbed some of the mangrove like propagules before we left that area. I got only 2 of them, and it looks like it's already grown some more. But that actually grew really fast. This hasn't been planted all that long. There's a second one over there. We are going to have to get a bunch of gravel and sand too, which, thinking about it now, I did see a desert, but it's kind of far away. So that's probably not really worth going all the way back there. Because we need some concrete powder for this build. We need concrete powder, and we need a bunch of sand. And there's really not a lot of that around us. There is a good bit, you know, I'd imagine in this river that's kind of right over this hill. Yeah, it's not a crazy amount though, which sucks because just how much gravel and sand we're going to need in order to do, to start making concrete powder. Concrete powder is just such a tedious process, and like what I'll typically do is I will build a tower all the way up in the sky that's in a pool of water, and then I'll fall down into the water and mine it from the bottom of it and just let gravity do the work for me. But that's kind of dangerous, and I don't want to accidentally miss, even if I'm like spot on. I don't want to accidentally miss my landing zone and then hit the ground and then just have that be it. So we probably will just stay on the ground, and it will just take us a little bit longer for that purpose. Okay, so we've got our floor put in. I need to put... Oh, that's right, I did put a ladder here. I need to figure out where the ceiling is in this house. I think it's right here. And it's made out of oak. I may actually turn these into slabs. And then the ceiling in here is actually taller than it is right here. And I forget exactly how it looks. I have like a kind of like almost arch right here. This actually might be covered because this is actually on the outside. That might end up being covered. I don't remember. I'll have to take a look back at that. And then it's the same on this section right here. Let's go back up and then I'm gonna sleep and harvest some of the food just because I'm down to bread now, which I think is actually from a treasure chest. I don't even think we made that bread. So we haven't had any of our own food in quite a minute here. I think what I'm gonna go do is I know that I need a bunch of andesite for decorative bits of the house and cobblestone. So I think once I put these in a furnace, I'm gonna go down and look for an andesite patch. Clearly I've already found one at some point when I was mining because I had some to begin with. And then I'm just gonna gather a bunch of it and some more cobblestone at the same time, just so we actually have materials to build with. I hate mining for materials, especially when it's not like I'm strip mining for like ores and stuff, because it just feels so... What's the word? It just feels so time-consuming and tedious. Ah, shit. That water cave is still here. I forgot about that. I'm gonna go this way instead. I hear it all around me, though, which sucks. Because that means we're probably going to be running into it this whole time while I gather this. There's a stack of andesite. And we realistically don't need all that much. There's a few areas that we need it in. But I just want to have like a fair amount in case I'm like underestimating it. So, got a stack in 16. I am going to mine maybe like 2 stacks of cobblestone here. Get a stack in each furnace I got up there and keep it cooking. It's weird because I feel like I almost never have to like explicitly mine for cobblestone because typically by the time that I start building a house, I've got a lot more stuff from just like strip mining. But this world has made it so easy for us as far as like getting ores and stuff goes that I don't really have a crazy amount of like strip mined cobblestone like I would on a world that wasn't giving it to me as easy. Like by now I probably would have a lot more cobblestone had that been the case, but okay. That's probably good for the time being. If we need more, I know where that patch is. It's not hard to get to clearly, given that it's just off to the side of our tunnel here. I think I am going to make a tunnel that comes out on the same Y level as where our house is, just so it's easier to access our mine from where our house is, so we don't have to go all the way back around. And we've got plenty of andesite to do what we need to do here. I really should chop down some more spruce, but also running low on iron. Never mind, there's a bunch right there. Have any sticks in here? No, but I want to get rid of that acacia plank. Now, most of the concrete that I need on this build is actually on this second floor here, which sucks because that means I might have to put a pause on building the house up until I can get a fair amount of concrete. And you'll see where that goes in a minute here. It might just be worth going ahead and getting some sand, because I really would like to fill in the gaps where the windows are. We're gonna need a bunch of it though. That's a pretty good sand bank right there. So I think I'm gonna go mine a bunch of that and then come right back up. We're also going to need a ton of gravel, which actually looks like there's a fair amount right here, so I'm not super worried about that. I hate mining sand from sandbanks because it just takes so much longer when you're actually underwater or you're floating in the water. I'm not sure why that's a mechanic that they made happen, but I honestly wish I had just mined a bunch when I was in the desert, but my inventory was far too full to make that happen. And going there now is just not really an option because it's so far away. Like, I think we saw it about halfway on our way back. It's probably like 2,000 or so blocks away, which just does not sound like a fun task to accomplish right now. Now, it'd be a little bit easier than when we were looking for Dark Oak last stream because we actually already know where it is. But even then, like, I just don't know if I can be asked to travel 2,000 blocks because we have to go through a really risky jungle and some very large mountainous generation that could pose a threat to our hardcore health. So I'm not sure I want to make that happen. Actually, this block that's the floor between levels here, I actually think I used smooth stone for that, and not regular stone. Make another furnace, because that means we need to double smelt some of it. It's just a little detail that really isn't necessary, but I think it divides the two up just good enough to the point where it doesn't look like all just like one big long stone tube. You know, just adding a little bit extra detail. Jesus Christ. That's what I'm going to be most excited for when we have the house done, is probably being able to avoid the snow easier, because it sucks to get back up here every single time. So what happens here is these blocks are going to be completely covered up. And it actually gets, the whole house gets one block wider on all sides at the top here. Which I think helps give it some more depth. And then this is actually where we're going to have the white concrete. It actually means I need dye too. I need a bunch of white dye. Which means I'm going to need to go kill skeletons. Actually, we may still have plenty of bone meal left over from the bone blocks in the nether. And if we don't, we can go right back there and get some pretty easily. Because I don't think I mined everything that was there immediately. I think there's still plenty of bone blocks for me to pick up. I only got 8, but that's enough to fill in most of the windows, because my windows are only 1x2, despite the fact that each panel is a 5x5. Shit, fuck. God, I'm fucking it. I'm fucking it so bad right now. God damn it. I need to not be as lazy. And these actually do get swapped out with full block glass. But for the time being, I probably will fill that in with glass panes or something else. The first floor is basically entirely complete now. It's on top of the stripped that we have our concrete. And so that is going to be a little bit of an issue here, because we have approximately none of that. And we'll need even more sand. But the sand that's in the furnace right now, I think I do want to keep that cooking, just because we will need glass for the upper level as well, and quite a bit of it. Definitely more than the bottom level. So I think all the glass that's in the furnace, or all the sand that's in the furnace right now, I want to keep in there. We'll go get some. It feels like it's not even worth continuing until we have the concrete powder. So I think that's going to be what I work on now. I'd like to empty out my inventory a good bit, because I think I need roughly 2 stacks of concrete powder to make this happen. Let's see how much of this we can turn into concrete powder. Let me put some stuff away. White concrete powder. That made 48. So actually, we need to turn more of this into white dye is what we need. white concrete powder. Oh, so it actually gives you more than the amount that you collected, I think. Oh, so I'm probably going to get exactly 4 stacks back from this because it's 4 stacks of gravel, or it was 2 stacks of gravel and 2 stacks of sand. So it's the total of both of those together. Okay, good. I do have a bunch of extra bone meal still. So I think that'll be enough to give us all of the white concrete we need. I don't know. That wasn't as bad or tedious as I remember it being. Could have been worse. You're still alive. Holy shit. Yeah, stay away. Get fucked. Not about to commit a fills up. That's not happening. I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. I am gonna build a tower that goes all the way up into the sky with my concrete powder. The reason I'm gonna do that is mostly just because there's water all around me, and it'd be very hard to actually miss the water in this circumstance. Okay, so now drop down. And then, actually, yeah, so it's actually not gonna take durability off my shovel, it's gonna take durability off my pickaxe. But it's gonna be a fat minute. This is absolutely gonna get time-lapsed in post. Oh my god, really right now. I'm gonna continue. People this. No, I'm not surprised the second time was minute. Oh god. So, not my original intention when building this. Why is it so slow when I'm standing right here? What's the deal? Yeah, what the hell? Why is it so slow? There's no ground. Is there a cat farther when you are slower breaks? Because I was taking like noticeably longer break than I'm doing right here. That's weird. I'm gonna have to go back and do a little research. Okay. And I'll get these ones that are down here. My inventory full? It is. What can I throw out? That arrow for now. This should be exactly like a stack, I think. The white concrete, where this fits into the design, is really not all that hard to remember. Just because it's quite literally just like a border with windows in it. It's quite a bit simpler than the layer below it. I'm actually not done with the detail on the bottom layer on the outside. I need to add more trapdoors, and there's actually some stairs that go in certain places. I think it sits right here. And then each panel is like this. And then I've got 6 panes there. We just make I guess, yeah, so most of this area here is going to be filled in with panes. So we actually probably didn't need anywhere close to as much concrete powder as I just made. But at least I've got it for later if I need to do another project that would involve it. Yeah, okay, well, 1 stack filled in all the panels, but 2 of them, basically. So I definitely overshot that by quite a bit. But I'd rather have too much than not enough. Okay, cool. And then from here, the tower is basically the same as it was. Oh, we need to put logs there. The tower is basically the same on this level that it was on the bottom level. I'll cut down some more spruce and build up the corner bits of it here. The roof is also going to take a minute, but it won't be anywhere near as bad as what we just did, because we already have a ton of deep slate. But the design of the roof can be a lot. I do have a pointed kind of wizard's tower-esque bit on the top of the tower. We are not doing that today. I'll do it maybe on a separate day, or maybe that might be something I do off camera. But that is a very complex part of the build that I have to be looking back and forth to a reference copy of the build. And that just won't be fun to watch. So I may actually end up doing that on my own time between streams, just because it sucks so much to make that specific part of the roof. there's definitely like a lot of hidden blocks like this on this build. And it's occurred to me that in order to make something look good on the inside and outside, you do have to sacrifice certain amounts of space on the inside. It just would not flow all that well if I didn't have like those certain blocks that were not covered up. Like even this, I put a whole set of extra logs right here so the ladder is all flush with the wall here. We're probably not going to get this house done today on the stream. We're on at an hour 21. I'm probably going to end it soonish here. But I think we're going to get most of the second floor done. And then maybe I can get all of the first floor done. Problem is we also need a bunch more stone bricks, and we really don't have all that many. I actually think that when I go up there, I'm going to call it there, just because I do have some things that I need to do today. Yeah, so I'm going to get up there, I'll sleep, and then I think that's going to be where we call it today.